What up, Crypto Warriors? It's Ultra Crypto back at it again. It is Friday, the 9th of October, 2020 on CoinGecko, and we're seeing Bitcoin hold above the 11K mark after that big news yesterday with Square, Jack Dorsey's Square, using or purchasing Bitcoin and holding it as their reserve, as 1% of their reserve currency or cash reserves. Well, it's not really cash because it's Bitcoin, right? They're starting a Bitcoin standard, right? They're using use up 1% of their cash reserve to get Bitcoin, and that news has pumped, not really pumped, but brought Bitcoin above the 11K mark. As we see, everything else, as it does, tends to follow. So trading sideways, no big movements over the past 24 hours. And yeah, let's get into it. Here it is, bullish trend coming from Cointelegraph. Bullish trend reversal underway as Bitcoin price holds above 11K. All right, so within the last few hours, a Bitcoin price surpassed 11K in a swift turnaround from its swing low at 10.5 in early October. Analysts have attributed three major factors to Bitcoin's abrupt trend reversal. The potential catalysts are whale accumulation, a spike in institutional demand, and the strength of the 10.5 support. There you have it. It's coming straight from the analyst that's analyzing all the analytics. That's why. What I always say is dollar cost average, and don't pay attention to the day-to-day price. Dollar cost average into your favorite projects, and you will be fine in the long run. And my new strategy is dollar cost average into Bitcoin until I get a certain amount of Bitcoin that I want. No more altcoins, any of that stuff. Whatever I have, I'm not selling it. If it goes up to the all-time new highs, then so be it. Guess what? What I've always been doing, cashing out into Bitcoin. That's what I'm doing. Not financial advice. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Next, speaking of Bitcoin, Goldman Sachs warned it will soon be scrambling to catch up on Bitcoin. So here it is. Now, you got to remember that Goldman Sachs just this past spring released a report saying that cryptocurrencies aren't an asset. They just released a report just a few months ago. Now they're getting into Bitcoin. Do you see what's happening here? Now, I stated this in one of my videos in the past, or many of my videos in the past, where I talk about the fact that these institutions will say these things to try to keep the retail investors out. So when you bring it up to your family members and friends, and they say stuff like, "Oh, but banks aren't going to use it. Goldman Sachs said this, and like it's not an asset." You have to show them this video to prove to them that they are getting into it. They just spin a narrative up to keep silly people out, to keep the retail investors out. This is not the first time they've done it. They've always done it, but they're the ones catching up now, because retail, at least in the crypto space, crypto retail, right? Well, we'll say crypto YouTubers, crypto retail investors that's been in this space. We were the ones that got in and started making all the gains before the bankers did. Here it is. Now, after it was announced last month that a 20-year Goldman Sachs veteran will be joining merchant-backed Galaxy Digital in early 2021, the firm's founder and chief executive, Michael Novogratz, has warned Goldman will soon be scrambling to catch up with its head start in Bitcoin and crypto. So Galaxy Digital hired this big shot 20-year vet from Goldman Sachs. He left them to go join a crypto firm. Left traditional Goldman Sachs that has its tentacles all over Wall Street to go join a crypto firm. Think about that. Goldman Sachs is going to have to get into crypto themselves, Novogratz said, speaking over the phone, adding an advantage in understanding decentralized finance and crypto, but Goldman Sachs has tons of talent, a ton of talent that it will use to catch up within the next 3 to 4 years. By the time Goldman Sachs finally turned the ship around, okay? Because they got to slow it down and then turn it around. By the time they do all that, this space moves so fast. Look at what happened between the beginning of COVID. We'll say between the lockdowns, the beginning of the lockdowns in March till end of August. DeFi popped, and a lot of gains were made. Plenty of new millionaires minted, and it's starting to cool down already. This is how fast this space moves. So if your plan is to, over the next 3 to 4 years, to get in, then you are way behind the 8 ball, my friend. Forget about it. All right. So Michael Novogratz, if you're in the crypto space, you know who he is. He's warning them. You're going to be spending tons of cash to try to catch up, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to buy it at all-time new highs. Talking about Bitcoin, they're going to have to try to buy DeFi coins instead of learning how to yield farm, because that's what Galaxy Digital is doing. Okay, so if that's on them, that's their business. You know, you snoozy lose, player. Next, Ripple launches line of credit feature for RippleNet users. All right, this is not for your average person, you or I. We go to the likes of Celsius or a Nexo or Coin Loan. Okay, those are the things we may use to get crypto loans or whatever, but this is for their ODL users, their on-demand liquidity users. And again, just another use case for the Ripple's XRP token. All right, so Ripple announced today it has launched a new beta service dubbed Line of Credit that is available to RippleNet customers who can now use the network's on-demand liquidity service to source capital and initiate payments using the network's token XRP. So this is probably why we've seen over the past couple of weeks a lot of news coming out from XRP, or not from XRP, from Ripple, about Ripple, and the price has been moving. You kind of see the price, that price action going up, ever so slowly. So maybe this is why. Maybe this was the big news that we were waiting on. But again, this is big news for Ripple and XRP token, and they'll be actually using the XRP token. So take that. Next, this is a joke right here. Community reacts to new DOJ crypto enforcement guidelines. The new cryptocurrency, well, first of all, let me read this part. The DOJ's guidance around cryptocurrency enforcement that cites crime and criminals 168 times has been poorly received. You think? They had the nerve to write crime and criminal in this report 168 times. Look at this report right here. It is 83 pages. It's a PDF. And it looks like something out of the 90s. This graphic right here, the U.S. Department of Justice. This is a joke. Look at this. This is a... This is how the government is. This is how they are. They're like so far behind, man. And they just don't get it. It's a bunch of older, and I'm not saying anything bad about people of a certain age, but they just have an old mentality and an old way of doing things, and they're just really trying to protect the US dollar, and that's what it really comes down to. So go back to this article here. The new cryptocurrency enforcement guidelines by the DOJ have received a negative response from segments of the crypto community. That's like a no-brainer. That's obviously, right? And here it is, a tweet from someone called CryptoPenny.co. Justice Department with more negative spin on how cryptocurrency is a tool of terrorists, rogue regimes, criminals, etc., and the importance of enforcing the laws against such activity. He tweeted out to them. These guys are they're stupid. Or are they smart? Let's think about that, right? Are they smart in trying to, again, keep the retail investors out of crypto? They want to have you keep your dirty fiat in the banks and invest in their Ponzi scheme, which is the stock market. All right. Some in the Ripple XRP community took umbrage at a line in the report that states Ripple Labs willfully violated several requirements of the Bank Secrecy Act. Wow. That is insane. That is wow. Yes. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse suggested that the report and the overall U.S. approach fell a long way short from providing clear guidance. This is coming from Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, and 70-plus page contradictory report is not regulatory clarity. Many responsible private players are trying to follow the rules, but that becomes increasingly hard when there's no single arbiter of the law. And he is absolutely right. The US is going to fall behind. China is going to get ahead. And any country that embraces crypto will get ahead. And the old fuddy-duddies will be left behind. Can you imagine if you're here in 2020 right now and you live someplace where they don't even have the internet? That's what it's going to be like in about, because everything happens so fast now. So in about 5 to 10 years. So it took, 20 plus years, 30 plus years, kind of, right? Because the internet really was a thing publicly since in the late 80s, early 90s. So if you can imagine if the US didn't adopt the internet, where we would be right now. Any country that has not adopted the internet, think about where they are right now in the world space and what they are doing. They're basically in the Stone Ages. And this is what will happen to countries that do not adopt and accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's my 2 cents on that. And speaking of Ripple, again, this is coming from CoinDesk. Ripple executive chairman Chris Larsen threatened to pull his fintech firm out of the U.S. if what he termed the country's hostile stance toward cryptocurrency companies does not soon change, according to Fortune. So Chris Larsen, speaking to Fortune's John Roberts at a LA Blockchain Summit on Tuesday, Larsen named Singapore and the UK as possible countries where the San Francisco-based company would move if regulatory environment doesn't improve. This is the sad thing about what's happening. The US is supposed to be the country of innovation and innovators, and everyone comes here, for the, when you hear about I'm speaking as a foreigner here, okay? Because I was born in Jamaica, and although I was raised here in Brooklyn, New York, right? When you hear about foreign, as we say, right? When you hear about the States, you hear that the streets are lined with gold, and there's opportunities on top of opportunities, and the American dream, this whole idea, right? This idea of America. And if the United States don't get its act together, we're going to have companies like Ripple. We already saw what happened here in New York. A lot of companies, as far as crypto companies are concerned, pulled out of New York because they're like, screw you and your shit license. I'm not going to say what it really is. It's the bit license. No, it's really a shit license. Okay, it's a scam. But we had people pull out of New York, and then now we're going to have people pull out of the country. Companies pull out of the country. Screw it, we're not going to deal with the U.S. and we'll just cut everybody off that we do business with in the U.S. And that's a really sad thing, considering that the United States is supposed to be the land of, the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff. I mean, damn it, man. I joined the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? This is what America stands for. And if you are going to be stifling innovation, and I understand why, because they're definitely trying to protect their reserve currency status, but sometimes to move forward, man, you just got to take that L. You know what I mean? But let's just discuss it in the comment section below. Please smash that like, hit that subscribe button, and notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.